Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Glass Seats. This is Viddy.
My name is Mrinal, and in this episode, we are previewing the Western Conference ahead of the new NHL season. Just like we did for the Eastern Conference, we have curated a few teams that are interesting to talk about, and we'll be covering 3 teams here. Just to give you an idea of going into the season, what teams are interesting to follow, what to keep an eye out for, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let's get started out in the Pacific Northwest with the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah.
Last season, they missed the playoffs after making the playoffs and beating out Colorado.
And going to 7 with Dallas, right?
And going to 7 with Dallas the year before.
Yeah.
They had like a slump last season. Do you think they break out of it this year?
I think the new coach is either going to, which is Dan Bilesma, I think is how you say his name. I haven't seen that guy in a while. He's been in the AHL for a while. I think he was with the Coachella,
with Seattle in the AHL.
The Coachella Valley Firebirds, who went to the finals against Hershey, lost, but that's promising at least. I think they'll do decent. It's hard to say because I've seen a lot of good and a lot of bad with Dan Bilesma. And I think a lot of it does rely on that. I think whatever that magic was, in that second Seattle season where they went 2 rounds into the playoffs, I think maybe other teams figured out the strategy was, and maybe that's also part of the reason Beniers had such a sophomore slump, right?
Yeah, he
went like from rookie of the year to just like middle six forward.
Yeah,
and I mean he got paid big this offseason, but I think he's due for a bounce back at least.
Yeah, I think Beniers is going to bounce back.
Yeah.
He had a really good rookie season. The league adjusted to him. Now he's got to adjust back.
Yeah.
A lot of star players go through this.
Yes.
I think he's going to have a bounce back. I think Jared McCann, we can expect to be a good player. But let's talk about their new additions. Brandon Montour on defense and Chandler Stevenson in center.
Yeah, those guys got paid too. Big paid. It's going to be interesting. Stevenson did some great stuff in Vegas, as we know. I think he brings some much needed depth to Seattle because maybe there was also just so much pressure on Beniers to re-perform, right, as this number 1 C. I'm not too familiar with how stacked Seattle's defense is. If I'm being completely honest, I know Larson, I think, also re-upped. So maybe this is like him and Montour just kind of being like the pillars of the Seattle defense is going to be beneficial for them, and that's not even including Joey Decord. I think Philip Grubauer's on his way out. If I'm being completely honest, I mean he signed that long deal, but I think Joey Decord is the number 1 guy there now.
What do you think about Shane Wright? Most likely, seems like in the rumors, is going to play this season.
Yeah, so he touched the ice here and there last season. If I'm being completely honest, I don't really understand why they're kind of letting this drag on for so long.
Because they don't think he was NHL ready.
But I feel like he was.
No.
It's also you get NHL ready by playing these games, right? Like it's just hard to say like, oh, you're not NHL ready. And as a player, you would also get frustrated, which I'm sure there was some of that going on too. But I think the kid has still got potential. I don't even know if calling him a kid anymore makes sense because he's far from that right now. So,
he's what, 22, 23 years old?
Yeah. So still a young guy, but he's going to start entering his prime soon. I think it's time to get him on the ice.
Yeah.
A lot more.
And that's definitely going to shore up your centers, right?
Yeah.
I think Chandler Stevenson is also underrated.
Yeah.
His time in Vegas was kind of overshadowed by the fact Vegas was just waiting for Jack Eichel to come back from surgery.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this guy's playing top 6 minutes, but he's not really the top center because Eichel's going to come back. But he played top 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
And Vegas stayed afloat with him.
Yeah. And he's easily, I think, a top 1 or 2 center in this league.
Yeah.
So a 3 down the middle of Beniers, Stevenson, Shane Wright, I think it's very interesting.
I think the same way that I keep saying Devontae's in Colorado would be the number 1 D if Cale Makar wasn't, Cale Makar. I think that's the same way with Stevenson. Like if you give him the keys, I feel like he could be a number 1 center. I don't think he will be. Obviously, I think that's Beniers' spot. He is that franchise player now, but I think Stevenson is a very good, what's it called, right-hand man. Yeah. I think he's going to do great in Seattle, honestly.
Yeah, and I'd love to see him settle down somewhere. He's moved around the league a couple times now.
Yeah.
If he can make a home in Seattle, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, so basically my TLDR with Seattle, I think there's a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of new things, though. So it's hard to say right now, but I have optimism that things are going to fall into place for them a little bit more consistently this season. It feels like it's been very up and down since they became a team, right? Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see.
All right. Let's move on to our next team here. We got to talk about the Nashville Predators.
The elephant in the room. The saber-tooth in the room.
They lost in the first round last season, but went out this offseason and got beefed up.
Yeah. Purchased anabolic steroids.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
If you missed it, they have former Tampa Bay Lightning captain Steven Stamkos, former Conn Smythe winner Jonathan Marchessault, and incredible defenseman Brady Shea, all added to their roster.
Yeah. Keep in mind, they still got, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, like there's UC Saros. They're still stacked, very stacked.
And you didn't even mention Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Who's probably their top center.
Yeah.
Talk about their power play.
Yeah.
The power play is going to be nuts.
Yeah, and I think they struggled a little bit with their power play this past offseason. Maybe that's part of the reason they were a little bit dismantled in against Vancouver. But now you got Mr. Power Play himself. Steven Stamkos is going to light the league on fire. And I think they still kind of play the same power play strategy, the 1-3-1 thing going on, right? So just put Steven Stamkos in the office and just let him do his thing.
Yeah. And that's not even counting Jonathan Marchessault.
Yep. Yeah.
Who is a beast on a power play too.
Yeah. I'm assuming this team stays healthy. I think they're going to torch the league. I think they're just going to just tear up this entire league.
Do you think they win a cup?
If they make it to the finals, I could see it. Yeah. Because it's not just remember in 2017, it was kind of like they somehow swept Chicago and that was the end of the Chicago dynasty. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's happening. They're doing it. This is a team, as you just mentioned, with Conn Smythe winner Jonathan Marchessault, Steven Stamkos. I mean, these guys know how to win finals.
Yeah.
These guys have been there. They know how to win. This is not the same Nashville team that just somehow made it on a Hail Mary thing.
They have 3 recent cup winners: Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, and Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Have all recently won cups.
Yeah. 2 of them Conn Smythes. Yeah. I can't remember if Steven Stamkos won at least one. I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, either way, you got 2 Conn Smythe winners and 3 cup winners, recent ones.
2 of them captained.
Yeah. It's just, I would be terrified to play this team.
Ryan O'Reilly wasn't a captain when they won the cup.
No, that's right. Yeah. But either way, I'd be terrified of this team. Assuming this team stays healthy, they're about to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
So
they're definitely in the contender tier, along with I think Edmonton, who is looking to get back to the final.
Yeah.
Dallas, who's always been a threat. Colorado, who's been contending forever. I think Nashville's in that tier now.
Yeah, and you kind of speaking of now, you have to win now, right? Like it's not.
Well, they got time.
I mean, they got a little bit of time. Yeah,
these people are on multi-year deals. They got time,
right? But I don't know. I guess Saros just did resign, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. They got time. Yeah.
They
got a couple.
The only player who's I think really running up against the clock is Stamkos, but he himself feels like he says he has a lot more to give.
Yeah, he just put up 40 goals and a lot of it on the power play. Yeah. Yes, but Nashville needs that.
Yeah,
that is exactly what.
And
Nashville
we haven't even
needs
mentioned Philip Forsberg.
Yeah, we can just go on and on. Yeah, we can just go on and on about this.
This is the team to watch in the West. This is the most interesting team I think in the West.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a scary ass team. I would be horrified to
also,
play
the
this.
first time Nashville plays in Tampa is must watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. The last team we want to cover for the West is the newest team, Utah Hockey Club. As the Arizona Coyotes relocate to Salt Lake City, what are your thoughts on their team?
I'm glad they have an owner that gives a shit. Because immediately this offseason, they went out and got some guys, obviously TJ Ginla, son of legend, NHL legend Jerome Ginla.
Yeah, picked him up in the draft. And then made some moves on D. Again, they got Mikhail Sergachev. I'm assuming that's their number 1 D now, right? Yeah.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, what a move for Mikhail Sergachev.
Yeah.
Coming out from Tampa where he's behind someone like Hedman to now get to lead his own team.
Yeah. This dude has got to have an A on his chest at some point, right? I would imagine, other than the A that's in the center of the jersey.
Yeah.
Different A.
Yeah, because what's the leadership group for this team? It's going to be Clayton Keller. It's going to be, I think, Mikhail Sergachev, and maybe some of the veterans they have.
Yeah. And I think the issue was the unfortunate part for Coyotes fans. A lot of it was, a drama aside, relocation aside, and just Mullet Arena aside, just shitty owner, all of that. things were starting to like pick up. Yeah, people are forgetting this. The Coyotes were like in a playoff spot at one point last season and past couple seasons,
and just fell out.
And just like it just didn't work, right? Like there was no momentum. There's stability now. There's just long term stability. Again, an owner that gives a shit. I think this is a underrated team in my opinion.
Do you think they make the playoffs this year?
I could see it.
Really, this year?
Yeah.
I was gonna say no way. I thought it would take at least till next year.
I mean, after what happened in Vegas in 2017, I have a hard time 2018. I have a hard time like saying never. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All you need is a little bit of a spark. Like sometimes that's the thing. That's with the issue with the Coyotes is there were so many unknowns, so many question marks that were just hanging over the players' heads. I think a lot of that has been solved, and a lot of that has like just go play hockey, go play good hockey for fans that care and stuff. Like I think there's something magical brewing in Salt Lake City, and I don't see them winning a cup, but I see them like at least making the playoffs.
If they make the playoffs in the first season, that'd be incredible.
That would be
talk about solidifying your fan base.
It would also be such a slap to Arizona fans.
Yeah,
just to have an owner
pretty
that
much
cares.
The same roster.
Yeah. Like literally, that's all. That's the main difference is an owner that cares. Like that. Yeah, it sucks to say, but like the Coyotes were just being abused in Arizona.
An owner that's trying.
Yeah, an owner that's trying, and not a money hungry. Whatever you want to go, I don't know. They just had like a lot of bad owners. It got to the point of
like, why do you own this team?
Yeah, it was just and he didn't even show up at the last game. Like, fuck that guy. Like, I feel for Coyotes fans. We've said it before. Like, they just have not had good owners.
Yep. All right, those are our thoughts on the Western Conference. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're looking for the Eastern Conference, that's our previous video. You can go check that out. You can hit subscribe for our future videos. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.